Hey guys, welcome back. Today, hopefully we're going to work through getting a wideband air fuel ratio gauge installed in the Foxbody. So I've had this wideband for a little while. I was playing with the idea of how to mount it. I didn't really want a gauge or a pillar pod, so I ended up finding a company that just 3D prints these. Wasn't too bad, and then that's going to go to the right hand side of the steering wheel. So essentially it's going to go right here. All right, we're going to remove the factory vent, put this thing on there. It's got a voltmeter, so that'll be cool. And then I'm hoping that we can run the wires through the hole in the firewall. So that's kind of where I'm talking about there. The firewall's got a hole in it already where the wire loom comes out. So I'm hoping we can come out through there and then go down to the headers. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to pop this thing out. I think it just pries out. There you go. Alright, so now I have to figure out how to get through there and down under the driver's compartment. Alright guys, so I was just thinking about what I was doing, so I started pulling some of the dash out here, and well, I found a spot to kind of go through. You see my drill bit right in there. So I just kind of test fit it, and you know what, I got a little carried away and started drilling, and anyway, we're through it. There's the drill bit. So I got a hole through the ducting. We're gonna go down here. We're gonna go through here, through the firewall, and then down to the bung. Now, switch power. We're gonna grab from here, from the back. We're just gonna tie into one of the wires. So hopefully we can get her done here. See, I was really trying to get away from pulling the whole dash out, so that's kind of the reason I did this. So going back to the gauge now, it looks like someone's already had this thing in and out of a car, and that's why they cut these wires, you know, so they can fish it through there easier. So I guess we're just gonna cut these again, and we'll splice them when we get it through the car. Okay, so what I did here was, you see this little rubber grommet? Well, that's where the main loom comes out of the firewall. I just drilled a hole in there, fits perfectly for this O2 wire, and then it comes out right there, and I'm gonna fish it up through there. You can see that, okay, I've already got the power wire fished through here. It fits pretty good. I have the gauge pod right here, ready to go. So just gonna finish this up and then put the sensor in, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so here's where we're at. I found a couple of these like splice connectors here. They're pretty nice. They just tap into the existing wire. Since I have a voltmeter, I just tapped it into the 12 volt power and then went into the ground. Now these two are just going to get power and ground. Now these other two here, the blue and the white on the AM gauges, they're for a like a digital output for data logging or whatever, so those aren't going to be used right now. Now these other ones, they all go to the sensor, so we're just going to go ahead and splice them all in into these ones, and then this is the power wires that we're going to splice in, and then we'll be good to go. MG Motorsport Tech Tip. Okay guys, so I'm no expert here, but when you're gonna heat shrink these and crimp them together, it's probably a good idea to stagger the lengths so they're not all in a bunch like this, you know. So if you were to like tape them together, it's a huge bunch right now, and it doesn't fit through holes places and blah blah blah. Anyway, just an MG Motorsport Tech Tip. Everything crimped on. These crimps were actually heat shrink too, so definitely recommend heat shrinking in vehicle applications. Anyway, these are done. Oops. So I think now we could go ahead and shove it back in there, and just before you turn anything on, just double check that you have all of these wires matched up with their proper colors. You don't want to be turning anything on with the wires crossed or something. Anyway, and then we'll just connect the power to the car to switch power, and then we're good to go. Okay, so we're under the dash now. I ended up finding a connector, this one right here, that had switch power on this yellow red wire. So I just tapped into that, and then I found a good ground. I know it doesn't look like it because it's on plastic, but it goes right to the steel structure here, so that's a good ground. Now I turned it on. And it turns out the little voltmeter didn't work. So it looks like these wires are just way too chintzy. They're too small. So you can see it made good contact with these. But anyway, so to get the voltmeter working, I'm gonna have to probably cut these splices out, put new ones in, and then just tie these ones together and crimp them all and shrink wrap them all together. That might be the best way to do it. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so I think it's all good to go. I just shoved it back in there. Let's try and turn the key on, see what happens here. Oh yeah. So that's just reading that. There's no sensor plugged in right now. We still got to go into the car, put the sensor in, and that's it, boys. All right, guys. So I was trying to figure out which side to put the sensor on, and it just looked a little bit busy on this left-hand side. You know, the headers go right down there. There's a brake booster. You know, I was worried about the wire getting too hot. So I took it around back side and down the bell housing, and I got it on the right-hand side. So there's where the sensor is there. The engine sensor is right on that side there. So it's almost at the same spot, so we'll be able to see what the engine sees, right? So let's fire it up and make sure she reads. Here we go. That's better. So my idle's a little high right now, and that's because I'm trying to pass an emissions test, so I got to get away from all the cam overlap, so that's why the idle's where it is. So the thing I really wanted to see with the voltmeter was just how low does my voltage drop when the electric fans turn on, right? That'll tell me if I need a new 130 amp alternator or whatever. So I'm just gonna let her warm up and see what happens here. All right, so the fans are on. Let's see where the battery voltage is. 13.1. So it hasn't moved at all. So yeah, my idle was a little high, so that test was a little off. But anyway, some of you guys might have seen these tires just sitting around my shop. So I got some brand new Nittos, so 245 for the rear, and then the 225s for the front, because I already have some rubbing issues, right? So at full lock, I think my tire rubs a little bit on my body kit, so right over there. Anyway, so right now I got some 235s on the front. Hopefully go a little bit smaller, it won't rub. That's my idea. Who knows? But at least we'll be able to get some traction on the rear with these big Nitto NT555s. Gotta love subframe connectors. Look at that. One jack, the whole side of the car is off the ground. You wouldn't be able to do that with a stock Fox frame. check it out. This is the difference in the rear. Not too big of a difference. They're both 245s, but at least the Nittos are brand new and they won't slip, hopefully. Okay, so here's the difference in the fronts. You can see the Toyos, they're a little bit wider, but like I said, they were rubbing, so screw them. Let's get some Nittos on there. Oh, and look at this. Oh yeah, that's what 12-year-old tires look like. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is a problem with the short box. You could hardly get 4 rims and 4 tires in there. Alright guys, I got the new Nittos mounted up. Check this out though. The rim is a 17 by 9, so 9-inch wide, and you can see the 225s are just a little bit narrow for the 9-inch rim, so there's a little bit of bulging here and on the back side, so hopefully it don't look like a ricer too much, but whatever, it is what it is. We're gonna run it. Alright, so this is what the rears look like. They're 245s. You can see they fit that rim way better. So no bulging on the tire. So hopefully these will hook up. Okay, there you go. Finished product. Looks like it's all good to go. Looks like these Nittos have a little more sidewall than the old ones. And the front doesn't look too bad. You really gotta look if you're gonna notice that bulge. Uh-oh. I just went to start the car and listen to this. Oh, you got lucky. Yeah, buddy. Hey guys, so I picked up my data logger, Victor. Data logger. I'm just editing this video, and it just came across that I never really explained to you guys why I wanted to put the wideband in. So essentially, you know, if you have better flowing heads and intake and cam and all that stuff, your fuel flow demand goes up, right? So essentially what I wanted to do here is do a pull and make sure that I'm not going lean at the top end. Okay. And we're gonna take a look at what the air fuel ratio is in second gear here. Do a second gear stomp. Stay tuned. Alright, go ahead. Yeah. This was recorded in Mexico. Victor is such a bad influence on me. So I also brought my idle down. Look at that, 12.9. Alright guys, check this out. I'm here idling. I just turned the lights on. I turned the blower on. I got no AC, but anyway, blower's on, lights are on. Check my voltage. My electric fan isn't even on yet. 11.5 volts. So I think I need an alternator upgrade. There you go, the fan just turned on. 11.2 volts, 1. Oof, this is scary.